So, yeah, I'm a little obsessed with peacocks at the moment. These are what I'm working on right now. Little peacocks. So let's see, this is the one I'm working on right now. And I just don't know how well it's gonna video, but we're gonna give it a try. Let's see. I'm gonna try to turn on this light here. And what does that do? Does that cause some major glaring? It might. I don't know. It's very hard to tell because the lighting in here is not very good today. It's very cloudy out, and I need some more light. Okay, let's move you over. Okay, let's see. So this is a flat-backed panel. It's what they're called. Let me show you. This is one that's I haven't done yet. It's just a canvas panel. I like working on with these for the smaller ones and some of the bigger ones. I just like to change it up. It's fun to do different things. So peacocks have been floating around in my head all the time, and I have never attempted to paint any until lately, and now I just can't stop painting them. So hopefully I'll get a little control and it'll be okay. All right, so I'm going to turn my light up. So the part of the problem too is I need my magnifying glass to work on these tiny details. So we're going to find out today with this video how well that's going to work. Let's see. So there you can see the edge of that magnifying glass there just a little bit, but looks to me like you can see me using my paintbrush. So when it's these, small little tiny adjustments and needing the little brushes up there on the edges, that magnifying glass really helps me. Because, well, my eyesight's not as good as it once was, so that helps. So I studied, the shape of the peacock first. That's how I started it. How I started to go ahead and start doing the peacocks. And I've been watching it, for years and years. I keep attempting. I'll do a painting and think, okay, I'm going to put a peacock on there. And then I don't, I chicken out. And so finally, I just jumped in one night in the middle of the night. I just got up and said, hey, I'm going to paint it. And I was inspired by antique wallpaper, because antique wallpaper is such a work of art. And I also wanted to do it in kind of an impressionistic way. So that's how this happened. So what I'm going to do now is I have, filled it with all of this color, and because it's oil, it's still nice and wet. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over it with this paler, to make it all paler, because I want it to kind of wash away. And then, so I'm just taking white paint and working it over the peacock where the little feathers would be. And it's just repetitive. It's just what I do over and over. But the magnifying glass helps tremendously. For example, if a little hair from the brush comes off, I can see it right away and I can remove it right away, which is nice. And that's just working, you know, on little details. Other paintings, which I'm still working on those other ones. Are a little different. Then I can do distance with that one. In fact, a lot of impressionistic or hazy paintings, you want some distance while you're working on it until you've got little details like what I'm doing here. It's little tiny details. And I just sweep it. Right now I'm using a brush. I keep shaking things. Let's see, can you see that brush? It's an angled small brush. And also you'll notice that I keep bumping everything because when I lift my hand out, I bump the little magnifying glass. And then what I'm doing is I'm wiping the excess paint off of the brush, because after a while, then you can't get a shape if you just have globs of paint on your brush. All right, so there you go. That's how I'm working on these peacocks. I still have a lot of detail left. I still have the head to work on, but I moved on down to the feathers because they're ready to get their colors softened. I don't usually do that like immediately. I do give it a day usually, or a couple hours, so that the oil has started, the base oil has started to set. And this is just some of the little techniques I've learned in the last, you know, year since I started doing oil. And it's just from playing with it, using it, and going, you know, and hey, the other thing is, don't, you know, just listen to that, because where I live is super dry. So it dries much faster than other areas. And then, you know, if you're using acrylics, oh my goodness, it dries super fast here. In fact, I noticed that the other day. So I have to admit, I got rid of a painting. One of my older paintings that I had done that I had never really liked it. Not really. And it just kind of sat around, and I said, you know what, it's time for it to go. When I get rid of things, if I don't find a home for it, and I just don't see anything that I want to do with it, I will paint black over it, because I don't want it to go into the trash with its painting. So I'll just take acrylic and paint black over it. Since it was an acrylic painting, that's what I did. I just painted black over it. I was surprised at how fast it dried. It didn't make me sad at all, so you know it's ready to go when that happens. I have a couple of other paintings that are older that I'm gonna be repainting. I decided I like the premise, but I don't really like how it looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and repaint it in oil and improve in the places that I wasn't happy with, but I liked the painting. I liked the idea, but I overpainted it. That happened a lot. I still, you know, have to be super careful about that, where it starts to get overworked. That's such a tricky place to be. I tell you, you can underwork a painting or overwork a painting, but they are so close together. Like, it's either just underpainted or you went across the threshold and you have overpainted it. So I've done that on a couple of paintings, but I've decided I'm just going to repaint them. I'm going to get a new canvas and take a look at my old ones, and because I really liked the idea and the premise, and I can do better. So, and that's the beautiful thing about having a craft. Does not mean that you know it. It means you are always learning it, and you're always changing it up. You look at my art now from what I did, I don't know, 10 years ago. Big difference. And I'm very happy. And I'm happy that other people loved the paintings I did 10 years ago. And I'm happy I did those paintings. And now I'm happy where I'm at in my growth and how I paint now. All right, guys, I talked too long. Have a great day. Bye.